Chapter 15, Guidance. Based on information that Mokuba had been taken to the capital, very kindly provided by Bandit Keith, Kaiba and his forces set out for Sigvarths. But Scott has dispatched Lumis and Umbra to defend the eastern side of the capital. The majestic eastern fortress, Nonnber Castle, overlooks a lake and used to be the seat of the Imperial Court. Kaiba and his army now face its tough defences. Is victory within their grasp? Red 2 standing by, all four lit and in the green. Welcome back to YuGiOh, the Falsebound Kingdom, and it's time to get the band back together. So, Captain Intelligence here is going to put Pegasus' team back to what it was. Because guess who was stupid and forgot, for whatever reason, that Gazelle and Mystic Horseman didn't fuse. I should have brought Blackluster Soldier with me. That was, to put it lightly, that was daft. But it didn't matter. Pegasus' team did admirably. We did at least wind up getting a new Dragonic attack, but the problem is, we wind up in the situation where we can't buy very much while we're up at, what's its place. There aren't very many items in the Dragon Lair. There are only the basic Goblin Secret Remedy, Blue Medicine, and Monster Reborn and all that. So, that team is all set again. Rex Raptor's team. Urubi is actually doing really, really well. It's got a few more AP. Megazale is good. Urubi's got more AP, but it's got less HP. Megazale I'll keep on his team because it's tougher. And I'll replace it with... where are we? With Thunder Dragon. Which needs that. I'll take the Deal of Phantom off and replace it with Polymerization. So, Rex has his new team set up. Thunder Dragon's HP isn't great, but as compatibility improves, Rex should be able to handle it. Now, Weevil. Well, I like his ant, in all fairness. The ant agonist has been very useful. I mean, I'll keep that. Like, I'm gonna be honest, basic insect has been useful. It's just good, solid chip damage. I'll take the ant off because I like Hercules Beetle more than I like, basic insect. Now, Larvae Moth, right here. We scroll down. Cocoon of Evolution. Which I keep forgetting I have to use the X button. Perfectly Ultimate Great Moth. Which has 2 AP. I thought it had more, but it's got great stats off the bat. Alright, so we are looking for the usual red medicine. We've got Deal of Phantom. Well, actually, we'll put 2 Beast Fangs into Deal of Phantom so it can hit very hard straight off. This should hold pretty well, all things considered. Labyrinth Ruler's team is still strong. Especially since it's got Labyrinth Tank. Pegasus' team is still good. Bones' team is still good. Kaiba's team, I'll remove that from Robotic Knight, but I'll keep those items on it. Octoburst will come in handy for someone, but we want to power up Kyber's team. I've only got 2 Dragonic attacks, which is a bit of a nuisance. So, keep one as a bit of a healer. And let's put polymerization on one. And then the other one can have red polymerization, deal of phantom. Actually, no. Polymerization, red medicine. Just in case. Just in case, the Soul of Obelisk. One of them's got more HP than the others for some reason. So, we're taking everyone with us for the battle against Lumis and Umbra. We should fare all right. Rex and Kyber are probably going to have to take enemies under the guns. But we'll see how everything goes. Let's get to it! Also worth noting, before we do get to it, we actually have a new Marshal to meet in this chapter. It's been a while since we had a new ally, so let's see who it is. Hey partner, we must defend our position and stop Kyber from reaching the capital.
We've finished fortifying our defenses. He will not be able to approach easily.
So, we are facing Lumis and Umbra, as mentioned. Let's get the barricades up. And who's coming in hot? So, Lumis is coming in with ground units. What we're going to do is put this in and have Kyber get ready to take Lumis assault. Who's this minion heading out here? Some random guy is just wandering around. Interesting. So, plans for our positions. Oh, we don't actually have naval units. Or at least I do, but they're not leading teams. I'm going to need to use some bait. Okay, so Labyrinth Ruler, step out. And I'll have him work with Weevil. So we will need to gradually bait the enemy's positions as far as I can remember. If you have a monster with naval movement, then things will get so much easier. Right, you wait there. Labyrinth Ruler. Right, why am I sending out Weevil? I'm sending out people with the same movement types. My only other flyer is Kyber. Bugger. Right. Oh well. We'll trigger this, then I'll set up some healing. Alright, artillery incoming! Weevil is still determined to actually get to do something because he hasn't actually got any lines recently. Because, of course, Seto Kyber doesn't actually bother paying anyone, so he can't be bothered giving anybody any dialogue. You know what he's like. I mean, no CEO ever gets rich by actually paying their employees properly. Weevil's going to take that battle, and Lumis is just sort of pottering like, wow, 9 AP. Not super strong, but So we have fairly familiar adversaries along the way. And a giant moth. It's always a pain when you wind up seeing those somewhere along the way. You wind up with trying to get Mothzilla out of your bedroom. Oh, I have bad runs with insects and things like that. They're always a pain in the backside. You get some giant insect comes into your house through an open window or something like that. It's terrifying. I once had a huntsman spider land on my head while I was in the middle of a shower. That does not do much for your nerves, I'll tell you that much. It just dropped down on me. I absolutely panicked. I'm not going to lie, that is absolutely freaky having that happen. And I spent the rest of my shower tucked right up underneath the hot water, with the spider sort of sitting at the other end, just there. We were just in a standoff. It was really, 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 really freaky. It's not the sort of thing you want to happen. And then just recently, my brother showed me a picture that I think one of his mates from work had got. It's one of those you will never believe this moments. Right, so they're guarding. But basically, this absolutely huge-ass redback spider is absolutely huge. I'm not joking. It would have been a pretty solid size. It had somehow strung up and killed a red-bellied black snake in its web. Those are dangerous. That's one of the most venomous snakes in the entire world. It's a fair-sized snake at that. And it was tied up, and it had been killed by this redback. And that redback was not lacking in size. This was spooky. It was seriously freaky. So yeah, be careful if you ever come to Australia. Do not mess with the spiders and do not mess with the snakes. Everything. As I've said in previous videos, everything can kill you. Somehow. Righto, so we want to scissor that. There we are, Hercules beetle, cut above. Focus our fire on Dungeon Worm, because it's the only one that can actually do anything. Those guards really didn't help their cause. Dungeon Worm at least can't poison us yet. Whoa, that's some good damage. But yeah, they do not like Perfectly Ultimate Great Moth. What type is Dungeon Worm anyway? I will actually have to look that up. Maybe it's an insect? It seems like it should be a beast because it doesn't look like an insect. Are worms actually insects? I think annelid is the general term for a worm overall, so I'd probably have to look that one up. I know that there is a fairly large collection of armed annelids in the Worms games, which is a nice little bit of alliteration. Or should I say a nice allocation of alliteration. But there we go. We have a few monsters we can actually pick up this time around, but not too many for the next 2 chapters. So I'll just have to tack on a fair bit of extra information along the way. Yes, we did get the kill. We will wait for Dungeon Worm to attack, or just guard. They're really, really not into actually fighting me. I mean, this could have been a much more serious challenge if they'd actually been attacking. So they've just got Forest Adept. Perfectly Ultimate Great Moth doesn't have any abilities yet, but it will probably earn some with time. And to finish it off, Scissor Boomerang! There we are, some good old Kirby-style cutter action. And our somewhat dumb enemy is defeated. With a massive string of level ups for Perfectly Ultimate Great Moth. Level 13 off the bat. If you don't mind, that is a good shot. So, now we have control of the guns. But what I should do is get our supply unit. There we are. That's got his healing all sorted out. Labyrinth Ruler can move along this way, and we're going to wind up shooting Lumis. Well, buddy, if you see the light, walk towards it. You're certainly going to be seeing some form of light. White lightning is ready to take you down. Now, white lightning is sometimes the name of the Blue Eyes White Dragon's attack. Other times, it's Burst Stream of Destruction, Destructive Burst Stream. The Test cricketer Alan Donald was also known as White Lightning. And he was fast. There's a very good reason he had that nickname. There have been some great fast bowlers that have come out of South Africa. Can we actually get a turn to do things? That's the unfortunate problem with dragons. Slow as a wet week. Alright, we'll sit through this. Obviously, there's not much anger because that missed. Now, Guilty is the healer, correct? Yeah. Guilty is the healer. Oh, that's the one with Obelisk, okay. I don't think I had enough copies of Draconic Attack, which is a bit of a nuisance. I'll need to find some. So, we'll wind up blasting Guilty, put it out of the picture. Okay, so... Wait, how have they got 2 and 4 experience? Do you actually get experience from being hit and dodging attacks? You must get experience from dodging, and you must get experience... Okay, so this one's attacking. Then I'll check it out. That's something I don't think I ever noticed before. Okay, Guilty is out. Healing's out of the question. Whoa, their experience suddenly jumped up from actually... So do they earn experience in real time or something? This is weird. I've never actually paid attention to that before. That's actually kind of interesting. Well, Dunamis Dark Witch needs to go down. Thankfully, our attacks for the most part, can't miss. Not bad at all. She's guarded. Looks like we'll have to rough things up. That healing is going to be a bit of a problem. But we can make do. I mean, after all, we've got Seto Kaiba's best monster, so this one does have polymerization. So this is number 3, which is... Alright, so number 1 is on the left of screen. Remember that. 35. Oh, no, they wouldn't break through, damn it. But we'll be able to wind up fusing in due course and dishing out a fair bit of damage. We have the battle pretty much in hand. Might take a few knocks along the way unless we get hit with a critical, we'll be fine. So it does take a while if you've done Kaiba's Story 2nd to level up. You will have to use the cannons to your advantage. But once you do, it's really, really good. We might not even need fusion. Suppose it... Well, actually, no, we might. Because we will need to use fusion. Don't be stupid. They'll wipe me out if I'm not careful. Okay, center one's got healing. This is the one that fuses. Right, let's go! And we can introduce Blue Eye's ultimate dragon after this. because I didn't get around to that in the last episode. I didn't get around to introducing Valkyrion either, which we can use. Now, Blue Eyes has its super stamina. This is a status effect and will wear off with time. So, we already get a fair bit of power. It comes with 3 abilities straight off the bat: Armor, Super Stamina, and Status Guard. Armor reduces the damage it takes. Super Stamina restores life points for a certain amount of time. It does wear off. And Status Guard allows us to resist status changes. So, it's already a very strong monster, and we can hit both of them with a special attack. We have 2 versions of Ultimate Burst. So, let's demonstrate. The multi-target version rips across the enemy and misses Orion. Damn it! That really wasn't good. Still, we've got the upper hand. You see what I've meant when I said a well-timed fusion changes the fight. And there we go. Lumis is out of the picture. And the Blue Eyes rocket up the ranks. Very good indeed. It takes a while for us to get extra AP. So, we probably want healing. I'll... First off... Our enemy up there doesn't have a very capable team. Well, I should send... First I'll send Labyrinth Roller out here as bait. And I'll have Rex follow in his footsteps. This is a good time to get a couple of those profiles in. Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon made its international debut as a Shonen Jump promo, then reappeared in many compilation sets. In Japan, it debuted as a tournament promo, but also went on to have prolific appearances. Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon is one of the most powerful monsters in the game on raw stats alone. Very few actually surpass it, only the 5-headed dragon and Dragon Master Knight. However, that's really all it has going for it, and you really are better off with 3 Blue Eyes on the field since their total attack is 9,000. Don't you dare. Of course, summoning this, hitting the opponent and then playing D-Fusion isn't a half bad plan. It's still a good beatstick with a bit of prestige along the way. Makes you wonder why there were 4 Blue Eyes originally. Valkyrion the Magna Warrior made its international debut with Stairway to the Destined Duel, and has reappeared in Yugi themed sets. In Japan, it debuted as a promo but quickly reappeared with Yugi's structure deck. It is very telling that the game developers learned from Gate Guardian being so utterly crap and made Valkyrion comparatively easier to summon. It also has better effects overall, which were presumably designed to work with the Egyptian gods in the manga and anime. There are other good support cards which help Valkyrion's components out too, and the electromagnetic warriors have popped up along the way, so in all fairness, thanks to its great archetype, this is definitely a lot better than Gate Guardian's pure jankiness. It's also a great choice as fusion material for evil hero Dark Gaia, and is the only monster with 3,850 defense. Right, well, it's time to see how well Rex does. Admittedly, the team might not be much chop if they start picking on Thunder Dragon. I'll probably have to guard with it. But, yeah, that's got polymerization. That was the smart bet. So I will simply have to be cautious. I've commented at length on exactly how weird it all is, but, oh well. Well, that'll do a bit. Chip damage is okay. And it's annoyingly gone for... Oh, man. Well, if Dungeon Worm goes for it, it's probably a goner. This is kind of a dilemma. Probably should have had a guard in all fairness. I probably didn't think this one through. I should have added a Monster Reborn onto the team. Maybe that was an oddity. But definitely useful having Dungeon Worm attack something else. Whoa, that was a critical. Guard. Well, let's continue trying to knock out shoot. Monster Tamer. I nearly said Beast Tamer. I'm thinking of Cardfight Vanguard, which does have the Beast Tamers as a sub-clan. The various Beast Tamers of Pale Moon utilize many powerful skills. Golden Beast Tamer is one of the most famous, but they've also added some pretty impressive others. Oh, I should have healed Megazala. That was dumb. Dungeon Worm might not kill it, though. Dungeon Worm might also attack the wrong target. The AI doesn't prioritize very well. I'd probably better make sure I heal Megazala just in case, because that is a reasonably hard hitter. Let's defend again. It's got it in for Thunder Dragon. That's not good. Depends on... I've got to try and knock out... What is the logical course of action? I think the logical course of action is healing you, just in case, and then starting to chip away at Dungeon Worm. If we get into trouble, I bring out Fusion. Alright, they're guarding. In that case, we'll just knock out Monster Tamer. So yeah, the Beast Tamers have had some pretty good skills. There are some useful ones along the way. They have a variety of handy soul-switching skills here and there. As I said, Golden Beast Tamer is perhaps the most famous of those. But we've got some pretty decent ones that pop up. There are some very, very good ones that have appeared in V-Series too. So it can be well worth building that deck, trying things out, and watching how dangerous everything can be. Because... let's... Wrong button. There we go. So now we've got a few more attacks and a thing. So our... whatever twin-headed Thunder Dragon is, it doesn't have the ability to heal itself, but it does come in at level 36. It has Lucky, which helps it dodge attacks, and it has Thunderflare Discharge and Charge, as we saw in the previous chapter. But... let's see... it's doing about... yeah, I think I want to just focus all my fire on Dungeon Worm. Yeah, this thing looks weird. It's... the palette swaps are just bizarre. Which, interestingly enough, a rearranged version of a French slang term for bizarre is the French name for unknown. Again, something a little unusual that my mind's just wound up diverting to along the way. It really is fascinating exactly how many weird and wonderful designs they've had over time. Might as well just smack into it as hard as we can, because the problem is if I lose both of these, then that's kind of it. What do I do? Because I don't think... look, Twin-Headed Thunder Dragon is not I'll defend. Twin-headed Thunder Dragon is not going to win a straight-up fight against Dungeon Worm. That's my biggest issue. I've got to ride out its attacks. Okay, now I can probably start attacking because it can't actually kill me. Rex's team not being very good in terms of raw power is a bit of an issue. Okay, that made it a bit easier. I don't think I'll knock it out, but it's gone okay, all things considered. It's usually best to raise up those weak monsters later on with a monster that you know is extremely broken. Oh gee, I think I should use my special attack, by the way. No. But yeah, it's usually best to ride it out and use cannons to cut down... We got the critical. We can at least take out Dungeon Worm and bounce back next time. And there we are. It always looks like it's wobbling its head like it's about to sneeze. Like, you ever get that where you're sort of desperately trying not to sneeze? More HP for Rex's team. And you're just sort of moving your head back and forward, and then it rushes out eventually. Or, even worse, you don't. That's the worst part, when you don't get to sneeze. It just sort of dies. That's always rough. Rex, buddy, you wanna... Rex is stuck against the edge of the world map. Curse these large monster circles! Alrighty. Hunter Spider is all we have to take down. Let's skip through this. The Masked Beast made its international debut in Labyrinth of Nightmare, then made appearances in compilation sets. In Japan, it debuted in Spell of Mask, making a few other appearances along the way. Known as Masked Demon Beast Masked Hellraiser in Japan, the Masked Beast at least packs quite a bit of power on its attack stat alone. It's the strongest non-effect ritual monster in the entire game, admittedly not that hard a feat given some of the crap we've seen, and also the last of that ilk to be released in the card game. There's not really a lot else which is outstanding about this monster. It's powerful, but a little complicated to bring out, as is the case with most early ritual monsters. It's quite telling that ritual monsters started to get better support from here on. You can still support this with some of those cards, but there are better options. Masked Beast Desgardius made its international debut with the Tactical Evolution Special Edition, finally reappearing in speed duel sets. That was the first time it actually appeared in a proper set in the international version. In Japan, it debuted as a game guide promo. Now, this monster is a bit impractical to summon, that is honestly putting it really, really lightly. It requires one of two fairly ordinary normal monsters alongside any other tribute, but at least gets to be special summoned. It's telling that in the manga, it was summoned through a method which skipped those awkward conditions. It was through the effect of Chosen One, and I don't think you can actually do it that way in the proper card game. At least its stats shape up in battle, and if something does happen to destroy it in battle, you can easily take control of it thanks to its second effect, putting the Mask of Remnants on any monster your opponent controls. It's just a shame it's so fiddly to actually summon because it can be fairly practical. Lord Kaiba. Who are you?
That's Ashizu Ishtar, High Priestess of the Imperial Order and the root of all corruption in the Empire.
The High Mage was under Scott's control and undermined the very foundation of the Empire. I blame myself for not being able to stop it from happening. You have every right to be angry, Lord Pegasus. I was locked away in Sigvarths and only recently managed to escape. The High Mage was just being used by Scott. However, it is time to set things right again. Please allow me to help the Resistance. I stole some information about the Empire's defences. Using this, we should be able to counter them. Please, let me help. Allow me the chance to avenge my brother, the High Mage. Hey, why don't we get any dialogue? Because you haven't been hired properly, Rex. You're just an intern. Alright, the guns are gone on top of that. Fairly handy, and who's coming out at us? Who? Ah. This henchman is coming out at us. Rightio, well, let's have Labyrinth Ruler race him back to the base. Then I can send Bones on an intercept course. But yeah, it would basically be a massive argument because nobody else in Kaiba's story gets really much dialogue. There's Mokuba, and that's kind of about it. Well, Mokuba and Pegasus. So yeah, to answer your question, Rex, you don't get any dialogue because you're just a minor character. Alright, when you've quite finished. Our enemy's stats. We have no healers to deal with, so we can focus fire on Ansatsu. That is usually one you want to get out of the way very quickly because, as you see, it gets absurdly high AP. No wonder. Nope, doesn't have its special ability for its attack just yet. Bit of a bother, but... this ought to do some good damage and really put it in the danger zone. Oh, wow. Definitely danger zone. It's not exactly on the highway, but it is going on the byway. Our enemies really can't get their attack strategy straight today. Lumis and Umbra, interestingly enough, were just basic duelists, apparently working for Marek somewhere along the way, who got obliterated in pretty much one panel when Kaiba used Obelisk against them. They weren't really serious threats, but then Marek wound up giving them some of his power, and they came back with their fancy masks and a fairly powerful deck using the Masked Beast and Masked Beast Desguardius. They had some fairly good combination attacks, and Yugi and Kaiba couldn't work as a team. But Kaiba did eventually start to get them bickering. He was able to get under their skin, and Yugi's surprisingly solid tactics, helping Kaiba out along the way, proved extremely advantageous. Lumis and Nonnber wound up getting smacked, and even though they had prepared a game that would be fatal, while the building they're battling on top of somehow has a massive portal to the Shadow Realm underneath it, in the manga there was a bomb that when their life points went to zero, the bomb would go off, the glass would break under their feet, and they'd fall to their deaths. Of course, Umbra, who went down first, had a parachute, so they were quite prepared to cheat. But I think they got smacked around by Obelisk again, in the end. So if I feel like it, I'll probably wind up smacking Umbra with Obelisk. It guarded, so that's expected to have missed. Now, you'll notice that Bikuri Box is probably cursing its luck, screaming its head off, going, "Hey buddy, do I look like a dragon to you?" Parrot Dragon is sitting right there, and absolutely nothing. Dragon Seeker isn't even responding. Don't know what it's on. But yeah, a few solid hits, and this team is going down. Once you take out Ansatsu, it's probably not that threatening. Like we've said, AP means everything, so if you get a good strong monster with pretty decent AP, ooh, Bikuri Box, man, it knows how to land those finishing punches. I can probably give Pegasus a break next mission. Pegasus has done very well. Mind you, getting to hang around with Kaiba in Dragon's Lair is a big advantage. Where's he going now? Ah, great. Weevil, you want to get up here and deal with Lumis? I'm probably going to start running so that Weevil can get a bit more experience. And Labyrinth Ruler needs to have a battle as well. This is really annoying. Oh, that guy's come back to life. Okay. Now, if you'll excuse me, we have some more speeding up to do. Mask of the Accursed made its international debut in Labyrinth of Nightmare, reappearing in Dark Beginning 1, and that was it. In Japan, it debuted in, strangely enough, Spell of Mask. Mask of the Accursed serves the same purpose as Nightmare Wheel, effectively. It stops a monster attacking and deals damage. I did say the only difference is Mask of the Accursed can be equipped to your monster, not that you'd want to do that. But it is worth noting Nightmare Wheel also stops the opponent's monster from changing battle position. The appearance of this card does seem to play heavily into the pop culture depiction of voodoo and shamanism, but one thing remains clear. Play them right, and this card, along with its fellow masks, could make opponents meet with a terrible fate. Alright, we've got another battle up. It's admittedly a similar team to what we've dealt with before, but geez Louise, the Knight Adept power is kicking in. Like, we're making Ansatsu look average. Still hasn't got the ability to poison things. Well, let's see if we can break its guard and really rip through it. Okay, Ansatsu's paralyzed. And we'll be able to do a lot of damage. Like, it's worth showing this battle because this team is just so good. I've planned out a few little tricks and traps along the way. We'll have to find a good, strong marshal to break into the castle where, what's-his-face, Umbra is hiding, because his Knight Adept monsters are going to get a bit of a power-up. But we'll send Kaiba in and he should be able to handle things. And of course there is just Flame Cerberus, which is always just there. It's never that impressive. So many monsters do wind up being good, some of them just are average. Now, earlier on, it's a very good idea for me to not fight Lumis with Bones, because Dynama's Dark Witch has an attack called Justice Flash, her special attack. This allows her to deal heavy damage to all Darklands monsters on the battlefield. Note that this is all Darklands monsters on the battlefield. So if you do something kind of stupid and assign a Darklands monster to a team on which Dynama's Dark Witch exists, you will hurt your own Darklands monsters. It's much like how Pumpkin's zombie energy infusion powers up all Darklands monsters, but it powers up all of them. Pay attention to how those special attacks actually work. Sometimes you can inadvertently screw yourself up and not realize it. Same deal with some of those items. Okay, that missed. Yes, we missed with mist. Dough I missed.
So I missed.
Probably wasn't worth it. There we go, that's doing better. And yeah, this thing we don't need to worry about. It is interesting to note that sometimes the attack animations just aren't worth it for some of the weaker monsters. Like, at least some will have fairly quick attack animations, but some that aren't very powerful do have long animations. It makes you wonder why. Oh! Ugh. That's the height of rudeness. That is a little frustrating. Oh well. We'll take care of them. It's really only Flame Cerberus that has done any damage, and I hate calling it Cerberus. It should be Cerberus. I'm still convinced they misspelled it. I suppose there are spelling errors along the way. They have screwed things up. After all, as I said, way back at the beginning, Zombie Warrior was a major case of massive spelling errors, because every zombie up to that point had the same spelling mistake that spelled it undead, ending with a T, instead of the D in katakana. Yeah, awkward. Pretty awkward to realise that you've been screwing it up for quite a few packs. Where's Lumis going to go this time, though? Lumis has just sort of wandered around the place. We've wound up baiting him because he's taken several bases. I performed a tactical retreat to stop those enemies charging in at me, because otherwise it would take forever for Weevil to get there. Now, where's Lumis? Great, hang on. Rex, go this way. Lumis is heading over... Oh, he collided with Labyrinth Ruler. That isn't what I wanted to happen. Labyrinth Ruler is supposed to be fighting the other guy. Weevil's supposed to be fighting this guy. Can I actually run? Well, it's worth a try. We failed. Alright, so yeah, escaping can fail if your AP's not high enough. Alright, so I want Weevil to take on that team. Weevil... Is Hercules Beetle going to be fast enough? Oh, this has turned into a bit of a shambles. Alright, if Labyrinth Ruler takes this base, Lumis will turn around. We've been giving Lumis the runaround. He was obviously fit enough to jump up large buildings, so let's just keep him exercising, you know? Let's just annoy him, get him flustered, get him completely off his game, and then we can kick his ass. It's a valid strategy. It's like that guy in Life of Brian who keeps running around the entire arena and gives his opponent a heart attack. Alright, Labyrinth Tank, as always, means business in bases. $33. How rude. Water Girl's probably going to have to heal because she'll be knocked out otherwise. Sorry, I would rather have let you get the KO, but I forgot about the damage. Yeah, admittedly, Labyrinth Tank is the biggest threat. This is like a seriously tough Castle Adept team. Putting a Labyrinth Tank and Dungeon Worm on the same team, that's just mean. That would be just incredibly mean. Alright, so that one's out of the picture. Jeez, Shadow Ghoul must not have that much oomph. So we'll get rid of the big threat first. And things should go pretty cruisy from here. It's been a bit awkward. For some reason, the matches at Nonnber and Eno just... It maybe is Nonnber that's much more awkward. It just seems to be the strange one overall. I'm not sure what it is. There's just something really annoying about this map. And yep, that's fairly predictable. At least we will get a new Marshal after this because, yeah, Ishizu is our new Marshal. She is the last Marshal recruited in Kaiba's story. Oof. We should be right to give it the drill. And then we can heal. And there we are. So yeah, Kaiba only gets 9 Marshals all told. Mokuba is out of it from chapter 10 onwards, and Marthas is out of it from even earlier on. I'm fairly certain most of him has rotted away, bits of him have fallen off, he reeks to high heaven, but we have continued to drag him along and that attack missed. Either that, or we really have just wound up throwing him in a ditch somewhere, which is probably understandable. I think that would probably be more likely. He's just wound up in a ditch somewhere. Didn't even deserve any respect. And that's this battle done. So that should send Lumis running right back here if I recall correctly. Then we'll probably wind up having a few more enemies to face off against. Very good, very good. Decent levels. It's amazing just how much better than Shadow Ghoul Labyrinth tank is. Okay, where's... Lumis has turned around. Alright, Weevil, intercept course. And then we can sort out our items, and it is time to battle. You have to focus our fire on Guilty the D Knight. Alright. Who's going first? Usually Dunamis Dark Witch. It's very fast. It is worth noting that sometimes Dunamis Dark Witch can use its special when there are no Darklands monsters on the battlefield. Fire the laser! Do any of my monsters have Field Adept? Now, I think Orion does get a power-up along the way. They really don't like Hercules Beetle. Orion has not learned its special attack. Now, Celestial Punishment and Justice Flash are the same thing. That's somewhat understandable. Now, none of them have Field Adept. Oh well. So we'll take on Giltea. And we got the KO! Hercules Beetle, you star! This thing has impressed me. It's just like Top Maniac. Like, I wouldn't really put much stock in Hitmontop under most circumstances, but for a casual run, Top Maniac was phenomenal! Still is. I'm going to finish that someday. I will eventually get around to finishing that. I owe the team that much. And there we are, the big threat is out of the picture. This should be pretty good experience for Weevil's team. And there we go, I will have to move Kyber in. I'll basically have Weevil return to home base and Kyber switch places. I don't know if Rex is going to be able to take out that Panther Warrior team. That could be a bit too much even for Rex. Because, well, Panther Warrior is a pain in the ass. It's incredibly strong. Can always put Panther Warrior on a team if I get stuck and need some good experience. There we are, more AP for Perfectly Ultimate Great Moth. Hercules Beetle and Basic Insect are doing fine. Weevil, head for home. Kyber, out this way. Pegasus. Hold position there. Labyrinth Ruler is probably the one I want to go fight the Panther Warrior team. We want our Trade Union. Nope, nothing important there. Let's have Rex switch his way across, so that if we wind up with any extra enemies coming in, then Rex can take care of them, because they always seem to go to Castle Right Arm first. which is a bit weird. Oh, Dragonic Fury, wrong thing. But there's Cocoon of Evolution, you can pick it up if you missed it. Also, Water Girl... And they wind up making an idiot out of me. But Rex has caught him in the field, which is a very painful spot to catch someone. Now, Rex's dinosaurs usually have wasteland adept. And I can't use polymerization, I didn't restock it. That wasn't very intelligent. Alright, concentrate all fire on Dungeon Worm and hope for the best. It's not quite as powerful because we're not fighting it at a base, but I can probably speed this up a bit in all fairness. Mask of Shine and Dark is actually unique to the video games and has no TCG or OCG counterpart. It made its debut in YuGiOh Duel Monsters 2 Dark Duel Stories, a game which never left Japan. What we know as Dark Duel Stories was actually named Tri-Holy God Advent in Japan. On paper, and pretty much in practice, Mask of Shine and Dark really isn't very much to write home about. Its most notable trait is getting the Divine attribute, which was shared by all ritual monsters in the Sacred Cards. Subsequently, it is unaffected by the affinity system of that game. In its first appearance, it had the Dreams affinity, making it strong against Shadow affinity monsters, but weak against those of Fiend affinity. Note that not all Fiends were of the Fiend affinity. Summon Skull was a Thunder affinity, I believe. Though it seems like a reference to Lumis and Nonnber, this card first appeared long before they showed up in the anime or manga. It's quite an odd one, but fairly interesting. Alright, it is time for Labyrinth Ruler to break through the enemy lines. And then Kaiba can fight Umbra. So yeah, as you can see, Panther Warrior. Dangerous. A very dangerous enemy. Already doing a lot of damage. Water Girl has a big target on her back because her HP is so poor. We have to rough up Panther Warrior. The only real hope we've got is Labyrinth Tank. I have to dish out the drill as hard as I can. And it's not going to be easy. These are some fairly tough Beast Warriors. They often wind up turning into some of the best monsters in the game, Beast Warriors. Panther Warrior is just flat out broken. Alright, they're probably going to go for Labyrinth Tank a lot. Double-edged sword using Shock Shell, admittedly. Panther Warrior will just cut anything down. Probably have to get Water Girl to focus on healing. Okay, we might be able to do this. It's good damage. If Water Girl goes next, we've got the toughest opponent out of the way. And I still have a Dian Keto somewhere on this team. Alright, that is a problem. Alright, well, I'm taking a gamble. Well, we got Panther Warrior. The worst one is out. Does Labyrinth? Oh, no, wait. There's a Dian Keto the Cure Master on another team. I think it's on Pegasus' team. Alrighty, that's good. Garuza's has lost its AP. We can focus our fire on Battleox, which has fairly high HP. Yeah, Beast Warriors really are good. A lot of dragons, definitely not. But the problem is we don't get Battleox for quite some time. We'll get it eventually, just a little while longer. Alright. Really doesn't like Water Girl. Alright, so we're out of resources here. Gotta make a few... serious decisions here. This team is a little tougher than I anticipated. Not having that Dan Keto to buff the team up is a bit of a disadvantage. But we'll soften them up in due course. And even if we don't win this round, we'll be able to take him out and buy time for Kaiba to close in. If I focus Labyrinth Tank on Garuzas, I'll probably be able to win this. Or at the very least, we'll go damn close. Because Garuzas' HP is terrible compared to what we've got. Alright, that hit. We've got this. It was tight, but the odds are in my favor. And the critical to wrap it up. Well done. That was a toughie. Shadow Ghoul really doesn't have great stats. And it's time for the boss battle. There aren't any resurrected goons coming along? That is fortunate.
You will not pass here!
Unfortunately, I think I'm going to. So, Umbra's monsters are Darklands. If you have a good spirit team, splat. Lots of splat. You can pretty much wipe the floor with them. Now, admittedly, given all the power-up items, I have absolutely no idea why you'd want to use Nonnber's Dark Witch's special attack when you can just use its regular attack and deal a guaranteed critical. Alright, Bakuri Box waited. Do I obelisk these guys or not? Now let's pile on the pain and keep Ryukushin powered, occupied, by blasting it with our attacks here. We might be able to force it to heal, which minimizes the damage we're taking. Problem is, I'm not sure if we're that well equipped, all things considered. Should I be dropping Obelisk? I don't know. It's... Oh, that's good. Probably another round of combat ought to take this out. Depends... Yep. So it always helps when we wind up forcing our enemies to heal, but we can still take them out in a round of combat. And if they split their attacks, we will have the upper hand. Okay, now let's... Let's zoom out a bit. That's the one with Obelisk. I'm committing to the bit. Let's get this done! Look, we're winning this and we're winning this real Kaiba style. I mean, Kaiba once sacrificed Obelisk to win a battle with the Blue Eyes White Dragon, completely screwing over Ishizu's visions of the future. Because when you get it done Blue Eyes style. Alright, that's good. So we can soften up Bakuri Box a little bit and then start blasting. That's my fuser. Let's blast Bakuri Box, and then we can wind up going into fusion. Assuming this doesn't backfire on me. Might be okay. Alright, Serpent Knight Dragon has attacked the wrong one, so Umbra's plans are kaput. Because I have fusion! Serpent Knight Dragon is out of the fight. Only Bakuri Box can put up some sort of effort against me, and it's not going to be very much. On top of that, as my Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon gets stronger, I can guard against attacks. So Ryukushin powered really sucks. Let's keep vaporizing Bakuri Box. I don't think I'm going to one-round this. I'm definitely not going to one-round. I'm definitely not going to win this in one. At least I don't think I am. Probably take me 3 more attacks, depending on what I've got to take out Bakuri Box. Probably 4, just on the safe side. Well, to be fair, I'm just going to expedite the process. Just a little bit. So I'll soften both of them up and then focus my last attacks on Bakuri Box. And then we've got the battle in hand. Easy enough. This thing is really, really good and requires a lot of strategy or Dragon Slayers or anything that can confuse your opponent to get past. Oh, damn it. I might be able to take out Serpent Knight Dragon. That was bothersome. Alright, one more shot. But I'd better stop and heal my team. Oh, come on!
So I missed.
Add the counter. It's been a while. But add the counter. Let's go. That was really, really annoying. No last minute resurrected goons. That's really helpful. And there we go. We will wrap this up pretty quickly. I'm almost tempted to drop Obelisk on him, but I'm not going to do that. I'll blast Serpent Knight Dragon out of the sky once we get to watch them attack. It is so annoying how slow these things are. Suppose it's a trade-off for their power. They're slow as a wet week. And there we go. One more. Oh, thank you. I don't know what it is about the missions in Nonnber, but they're always bothersome. Couldn't we have saved the critical for Bakuri Box? That's a Pokemon thing. You always get the critical hit when you would knock out the opponent anyway, or you're trying to keep the Pokemon alive so you can catch it. Got it. Stop! Stop dragging this out! I'm really not impressed. Try and beat this. And we've just got 7 attacks to vaporize it with because I'm really, really fed up with Umbra wasting my time. So we get our long attack animations and we will finally be done. This one just turned into chaos. Oh well, that's what happens when you mix light and dark. They are Mask of Light and Mask of... I think they're Mask of Light and Mask of Darkness in the Japanese version. Mask of Darkness is also a fairly useful trap card. No, it retrieves trap cards. Dingus, it's a monster. Retrieves trap cards from the graveyard. Basically functions the same as Magician of Fate. There we are. We've got some reasonable levels into them. Still probably best if we wind up fusing. And there we go. Finally, Sigvarths is in my sights. Before you attack Sigvarths, there is something I must tell you. It's about Mokuba, the one you're looking for.
Where is Mokuba now?
Mokuba is being kept in Sigvarths. He was brought there just as I was making my escape. I believe that he is still in Sigvarths with Scott. If you take me to Sigvarths, I may be able to determine exactly where Scott is keeping him. So I ask you, please, allow me to fight with you. I am also a marshal. I am sure I can be an asset to the Resistance.
All right, I will be counting on you when we reach Sigvarths. Do not let me down.
Hey! You weren't counting on me and Rex!
Shut up, Weevil. You two are just interns.
You haven't paid us!
I don't pay any of my employees. I'm Seto Kaiba. Do you actually think that corporate billionaires get to be incredibly rich by paying their employees?
Look, we've put our lives on the line for you several times!
And you haven't managed to die. That's payment enough. Now get out of my sight!
We can't actually see you.
Just get out of my sight, Rex and Weevil. Why did I agree to drag you along? You two really aren't that special.
Hey, at least I haven't threatened to kill myself over losing a card game.
What did you say, Rex?
You heard me! You threatened to jump off a castle when Yugi was beating you! I might lose, but I lose with pride and fairness. I don't cheat, I don't play dirty. You couldn't stand losing a card game. You are a coward.
You know, you've got guts, but I'm still firing you. Then I'm gonna rehire you for having guts.
Oh, do I get paid? No! Damn it. Well, there we are. Kaiba's last marshal is in our ranks, and we have a few more missions to go before we finally raid Sigvarths. Let's see what the next one brings up. Until next time, this is Red 2, returning to base.